Hey, folks, and welcome to the newest edition of Bring the Pain Sports Talk. After further review, we're back. I am your host, Mitchell Brock, and I am here with the great sports Morpheus, Mr. Richard Walker. And I'm going to say it one more time. We're back.
We're back.
Listen, check this out, y'all. It has been a long time coming. It has been a tough road back. Just as we really started to hit our stride, the pandemic hit. Couldn't get in the studios, couldn't cover any games. So everything is getting back to as normal as it's going to be for a while.
Right.
And we here.
Right.
We here. So let's jump right into it, man. Obviously, the Super Bowl is a couple of weeks old, but it's still lukewarm. It's still lukewarm. So let's dive into the Super Bowl. Of course, the LA Rams got it done. 23-20 over the Cincinnati Bengals, and we were there. We were in the house. So, Lurch, talk to me about our first experience, legit.
You're gonna have to read the book. To find the rest of it.
You had to read the book to find out what that specific statement meant. Tell me about your personal experience there. Of course, I was there with you, but I want to hear it in your words.
Well, first of all, just the atmosphere, and I got to give my kudos to the city of Los Angeles and Inglewood and all the surrounding counties that they work together collectively as a team to put together a great experience for the Super Bowl. My hats off to them. All things being considered, if you haven't been to LA and you don't know about the infrastructure in LA, it's rough. So for them to be able to execute as well of a game plan as they did to make all those events happen, kudos to them. But we had the opportunity to go to press row, and for those of you that follow us, cheap plug, here we go. Go to our YouTube page. You'll see our interviews that we did with some legendary figures in sports as well as the NFL. We had the opportunity to interview Michael Buffer and Eric Dickerson.
Tell them about the best part of the Michael Buffer interview.
The best part about Michael Buffer was that his brother shows up. Bruce Buffer, who's the UFC announcer, and we caught this awesome brotherly love moment on camera, man. So I'm not gonna tell you anymore. You got to go see it.
That's right. That's right.
But just that experience of being around, we were surrounded by greatness in that room. There were just so many legendary figures in sports and entertainment that we had an opportunity to meet and sit down and interview with. And one of the things that they took away, that I took away from them, was the comfort that they had with us. We've been telling y'all for the longest that people know the truth. People see real, recognizes real.
Recognize real.
And if you go and you see those interviews, you'll see the level of comfort that all these legends had with us, sitting at our table talking with us, because they love the fact that we cut the BS. There ain't no fluff, it's real stuff. And they love it.
Was that off the dome?
Hey, that's how we do. So that was really. I like it.
We're going to put that on a T-shirt. Yeah. Write that down. Write that down.
But overall, outstanding experience. It was a great game. It was refreshing to finally see two different teams. No disrespect to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but really didn't want to see them again. And my hat goes off to the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. But I got tired of seeing him in Super Bowls, man. It was good to actually have a competitive Super Bowl with two rising stars. Well, you have rising star in Joe Burrow, but you have a guy that was long overdue in Matt Stafford.
This is like a second career for Stafford.
Right. This is a second coming of a very good quarterback, who finally got an opportunity to get himself in a better situation, and all the pieces came together for the Rams. They were that team that had their heart broken a few years ago. And they rolled the dice and put all their cards on the table, and they say after draft picks, we trying to win now. So for them to make that bold move, and it paid off, and they executed, it was a great tale of two stories that came together. So it was overall it was an excellent Super Bowl experience, and the playoffs itself, in my opinion, was the best playoff series in football history,
as far as I can remember.
Yeah,
not even close.
Not a single game that was boring, that was a blowout, It was all great football.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on that first before I get into my experience at the Super Bowl. And I literally did the research on this. Week 18, it feels weird saying week 18 instead of week 17. So week 18, every single game of Week 18 had some sort of playoff implications. There were, I think, off the top of my head, I think there were 4 do or die, like winning in. Of course, the epic Raiders and Chargers game. Winner goes in. If they tie, they both go.
Right.
So every single week.
And the Jaguars eliminated the Colts on the last game of the season.
Bro, you talk about an upset.
And they were like, I think they were like 20-point favorites. So like it was like ridiculously double-digit favorites, and they got eliminated on the last game.
And then got smoked. Didn't just lose. It wasn't like a fluke. They got smoked.
Right.
It's like the Jags, when division opponent, the Jags came out and was like, we ain't going, y'all ain't
either. You coming with us.
Yeah, we ain't going, y'all ain't either. But so every game in Week 18 had some kind of implications, whether it's do or die, win or go home, seeding, home field versus going on the road. It was insane, and it did not disappoint. And then the playoffs, even the wild card games were okay, but when you got to the divisional round, the conference championships, the overtime game, and then the Super Bowl was epic. So hands down, I'm 45 years old. I've been watching football since I was 8 years old that I can remember. Hands down, the best playoff season ever.
No question.
But the Super Bowl for us, man, it was a long time coming. I'll plug him because he invited me on this show, the Detroit Sports Sit Down podcast. My guy Tom Murphy, go check him out on Facebook. He had me on this podcast, and he said, so what was it like when you got the notification that you guys got the Super Bowl credential? And I told him, I said, bro, I'm not gonna lie. And I told you, I said, I cried, man. I shed tears because we've been doing this for 8 years, and we finally got our breakthrough. And it was just like we spent so much of our own time and money, resources. We're independent. We're independent. We've had some sponsors. We'll talk about that later. We've had some sponsors, but for the most part, everything we do is out of pocket, man, because we're independent. This is our deal. Begging for time off work, having to switch shifts, and going from this game to that game, just crazy. Families, all kind of stuff, man. And to finally get the culmination of what the pinnacle of what we worked for, it was just a moment that was crazy, man. But you 100% sure correct about the infrastructure of LA. It is horrible. Let me tell you something, man. And I'm gonna be transparent with y'all because we family. We didn't stay at the media hotel because it was too expensive. Right. Like I said, we out of pocket, and we was like, no. We gonna stay at this hotel. We stayed at a hotel 11 miles away, and we were like, 11 miles? That ain't gonna be so bad. Right. Yeah, look, even the cameraman's laughing. He like, you must have been to LA before, bro. You gonna learn today. We were 11 miles away, and it was taking us an hour to get to the LA Convention Center in LA traffic.
You damn near could ride a bike faster than you could drive a car.
We if it wasn't so, we talked about scooters before we got there, but we was like, no. But that traffic is insane. But once we got there, once we got to the convention center, it was dope. The NFL. The one thing I didn't like is y'all didn't feed us the way I thought y'all was gonna feed us. NFL. I'm just gonna call you out on that. No, but other than that, the experience was dope, man. Being on Radio Row, and it was so crazy. The way Radio Row works is you basically every media outlet just has their table, and you go around and you can book the guys. That's kind of a new thing. You can book your guests and say, hey. Everybody walks around with their publicists, and I'm talking about not just athletes. You got athletes, entertainers, actors. Demetria Oberlor, shout out to her, newscaster. And they walk around with their publicists, and you can book them. Say, hey, we'll talk to you from 12 to 12:15. But it didn't always work that way.
Nope.
99% of it was, yo, there's such and such. You go grab him, see if he'll talk to us. And that's the way it worked. There was a time we're sitting there. I had to use the bathroom so bad, y'all. I was like, bro, I'm scared to leave. Remember I told you? I said, I'm scared to leave because if I leave, ain't no telling who you might miss. Right. Our table was probably maybe 100, 150 feet away from the restroom. In that walk one time, I saw Torrey Holt and Travis Kelce. I walked right past them in 100 feet. It's just like, you looking around and
I went to go get some water and ran into Emmitt Smith. Like what an awesome,
it's crazy. You couldn't go 10 steps without seeing a celebrity or a legend. And we were doing late nights. We were there 7:30 in the morning, 8 at the latest, 8 at the latest. And we would stay there to 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. We were doing easy 12, 14, 16-hour days. And one day it paid off because we were wrapping up and we looked, and lo and behold, Eric Metcalf is walking through there. And Eric Metcalf was one of my favorite non-Lions. Y'all know I'm a diehard Lions fan. Eric Metcalf's one of my favorite non-Lions to watch play. And he was dope. Eric was a dope interview, man. And I would tell you what he said, but y'all got to go on our channel and watch it. You know, Bring the Pain Sports on YouTube. So, yeah, the experience was dope, man. And let's talk about the game a little bit. Like you said, you touched on it a little bit. Of course, as a Lions fan, I was very, very happy to see Matthew Stafford get it done. You know, a lot of Detroit people got crazy with the whole Detroit Rams thing and all that. That was too much. But I was happy to see a guy who gave his blood, sweat, and tears to our organization for 12 years. And not just our organization, but our community. Matthew Stafford is a pillar in the Detroit community. He's built a school. He's built fields, ball courts.
Right.
Nobody has had a bad word to say about the guy.
Right.
So to see
unsolicited,
him unsolicited,
he didn't have to do all of
no. He don't even play no more, but he still wear the decap.
Right.
I've seen it.
Right.
So I rock with Stafford, and I was happy to see him get it done. The worst part about it, though, even though they got the job done, was to see Odell tear his knee up again. Yeah, that was tough, and it looked like he was about to have a monster game. Right. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean. Remember, these are all the guys that one thing I think that they had in common was all the pressure and all the criticism that they had on him. Odell had the whole incident with his father with Baker Mayfield. I think we know who's right now. Because,
Odell's washed up, right?
Yeah, Odell's washed up, quote unquote, what all the critics say. You got the haters back home for Matt Stafford. You know, it's the same mentality as when someone makes it out the hood, but the cats back in the hood still hate on him, say he sold out. No, he just sold out. He moved on.
He moved up.
You know, people still, for some reason, don't want to acknowledge Cooper Kupp as the best wide receiver in the game right now. And I'm gonna drop it because this is what we do. Most of the criticism that he gets because the color of his skin. We call him what it is. We're not used to having the best receiver in the game being a white dude.
Steve Largent 2.0.
Right. The dude, he's not fast. Yes, he's not flashy. He gets open. He makes plays. You need to go back and watch that game. If you don't believe it, you need to get you some popcorn and go back and watch that game. He pulled the Rams out of that game. Everything from the jet sweep for that critical first down that they got on fourth down, the touchdown catch, the blocking. This dude does everything. So, you know, quit hating on the dude because he's white, man.
Yeah, and let me tell you about the best part about him in that game. Now, of course, the morning after we go to the MVP press conference, and I'm literally front row, you know, like if we got there early, I was on the first row. So I was from here to that camera from Cooper Kupp. I was shocked at how thin he is. He's not a big dude. Nope. Like on TV, he looked like he got a little. Right. He's thin. Right. Now he's taller than I thought he was. He's probably good 6'2", 6'3", but he's not a big dude. So when I saw how thin he was, and I thought about some of the plays I've seen him make, I'm like, now I'm more impressed with this guy. The most impressive thing about that game, you can talk about the touchdown catches, you can talk about the jet sweep and the plays and all that. However, this man got pass interference calls 3 plays on that final drive. And you had guys, of course, everybody knows I'm an official. You know, guys hit me up, man, what's up with that? What's up with that? The officiating was horrible. I said, no, it wasn't. Those were legit holds. Right. They were holding the man.
Because he kept getting open.
He kept getting open. On the touchdown pass that finally culminated at the end of that, they literally almost tackled him. He kept his feet, and he got open, went up, and made a play. Like you said, it's like Larry Bird. Right. People don't want to give Larry Bird his props because he's a white dude playing a quote unquote black man sport. I don't care if Larry Bird was green. That dude was bad. Same thing with Cooper Kupp. I don't care if he's purple. The dude is bad. So I'm looking forward to see. And the Rams are fairly young. Matthew Stafford is 32, I think. So
still in his prime. Von Miller still got a little tread on the tires. Aaron Donald, the most dominant defensive force in the league, still in his prime.
The best since Lawrence Taylor, as far as domination.
Right. Cooper Kupp still in his prime. You know, we pray that Odell gets, back with a speedy full recovery. I think in all likelihood he'll resign with the Rams. You know, he still got some to tread on the tire. So I mean, they're equipped to go back and possibly defend their title.
Correct. Now let's shift over to the other side, to the Cincinnati Bengals. That is a scary young team.
Yeah.
Now they're really young. I mean,
very young.
I think the average age of their starters is like 23. That is bananas, man. So the new Joe Burrow, I really like that kid.
Well, we've covered him when he was at
LSU. Yeah.
And he brings that calming presence, that leadership, that innate. Just he walks in the room, everybody's like, okay, we're good. We're confident because we got Joe. That he brings that element that you just can't teach to the game.
Yeah. And I don't know if I've ever seen a young quarterback since Tom Brady who at this age, at this stage, has that level of cool. Because Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl as a second-year guy. When Drew Bledsoe got hurt, he came in, took over. And it was just always that. Now, mind you, and I got to say this, you said you got tired of seeing Brady win Super Bowls. Of course I didn't, because I'm a Michigan guy. So Tom Brady could win every Super Bowl as far as I'm concerned, and I'm a big Brady fan.
Of course.
But, yeah, of course. It's just, would you get tired of seeing Case Keenum win Super Bowls?
No, of course not.
Absolutely not. You're a Houston guy.
Right.
But, yeah, it was I've never seen a young guy in the NFL to have that relaxed, we good.
We got this.
No panic in this kid. And he's coming off an ACL.
Right.
A complete ACL.
Right.
But you never know by looking at him.
And they had a lot of holes in that team. But as I mentioned before, if you have a quarterback that can fill those cracks, man, it just makes your team so much better.
Yeah.
When they have an offensive line that gave up, was it 10 sacks to the Titans? I think it was 9 sacks to the Titans. You have
won the game.
You have a rookie receiver who has that instant connection with Joe Burrow. Man, they were just magical together.
Well, they played together in college,
right? And then you have basically running back by committee. So those elements, they just all work together, and it's all because of Joe Cool.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Burrow actually went to bat with the Bengals and said, I want my receiver from college. And he was the one, and they've been open about that. He was the one that facilitated them drafting Jamar Chase. We knew they needed a receiver.
Right.
And Jamar Chase wasn't looked at as the best receiver in that draft.
His film didn't jump out at you.
No, he was good.
He was good.
But he wasn't the top receiver that, coming out in that draft.
Right.
Burrow say, I want him. And
he was right.
Magic. Now, did you see this? It came out later. On that last fourth down when Burrow got sacked, did you see how he blew past Jalen Ramsey? It was wide open.
Yep.
If Burrow could have gotten that pass off,
they would have won the game.
It's a whole different conversation.
That was 6.
It's a whole different conversation.
We will be talking about the Bengals winning the Super Bowl right now.
From 4-12, and as a Detroit Lions fan, that gives me some hope.
Right.
Not
that much, yeah.
What's so funny, man? No. I mean, they went from 4, and like Joe Theismann said, we asked Joe Theismann about it.
Yeah.
He said, well, the difference is Burrow wasn't there.
Right.
Burrow's rookie year, he got hurt in week 11 against the Redskins, and he was playing well. You never know how somebody's going to come back from an ACL.
Right.
But when he came back, and he was dare I say, better than he was his rookie year, which he should be. But coming off the injury, you just never know.
Well, you can tell that, during the injury that he invested his time versus spending his time. Because you can tell how well oiled he was and how he knew the ins and out of that offense. That dude was he was in the rehab room, but he was also studying in the film room. Yeah. It shows.
Yeah. He was he was lights out, man. But like I said, if he could have got that last pass off, we're having a totally different conversation. And that leads me to my next point that we kind of saw this coming. We kind of saw the Cincinnati Bengals team piece by piece. They got better and better and better, and they finally got there. Now, the one area that they definitely need to improve in is the offensive line. Yeah. Us being former linemen, that's the thing we look at. But they jump off the screen. They jump off the screen bad. They're decent run blocking because Joe Mixon gets his yards.
Right.
But their pass protection
is non-existent.
Yeah. So improve the offensive line, and you're Super Bowl champion because Chase was wide open. So while we're on the subject of the NFL, let's transition into I want to say the final NFL game, because it was when we were coming up, which is the Pro Bowl. which is now played the week before the Super Bowl.
Week is the correct word.
Oh, yeah, week. Yeah. It's played the WEAK of the Super Bowl. Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. The Pro Bowl.
Let me block you real quick. There we go.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl style block. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Horrid. I mean, when we were coming up, man, the Pro Bowl was, you looked forward to. People used to have Pro Bowl, like you have Super Bowl parties. People used to have Pro Bowl parties. Like, yo, come through, we gonna watch the Pro Bowl.
Right.
It used to be at the end of the season, everybody played. If you got selected to the Pro Bowl, you played.
It was a badge of honor.
100%. It was a badge of honor.
And they played and they went 100 miles an hour. The most epic clip, I think everybody would agree, this Sean Taylor hit, man. I mean, it was, that's the kind of level of competition that we used to have at the Pro Bowl. But at this point, and I get it from the players' perspective, because those guys were making that kind of money back then. You got $100 million or more potentially in career earnings that's on the line for a meaningless game. I'm not going to go out there and possibly injure myself either.
Nope.
So that being said, it's time to just keep it real. It's time to shut the game down. Scrap the game.
Scrap it.
Keep the skills. Now the skills competition I thought was off the chain this year. They were real creative with some of the new the catching competition, the throwing competitions. Some of that stuff was really cool. I would like to see them bring back the bench press contest. Things like that. The NFL, the fastest man in the NFL. Which that week race that they had with Micah Parsons and Cheetah, and they weren't running. The only one that ran full speed was Parsons.
I mean, Darryl Green could probably come out and still win it now, and he's like 50 years old.
And I mean, maybe they do something like a Legends game with flag, football or something like that. Yeah. Or we talked about this on the plane. You got a lot of guys out there still trying to get in the league that need film. Have a free agent game. Free agent versus free agent game. And them guys, I'm telling you, will go out there and play. And they will bust it up and let them be coached by free agent coaches, which I know we're going to talk about later, but that's more opportunities for coaches such as a Brian Flores, these black coaches, to get opportunities to get their work on film so that, they have things to bring to an interview.
Right. And that's
just throwing it out there. We'll give you that one for free, NFL. We'll give you that one for free.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That's actually a good point that you brought up. Now, back in the day, I know, of course, we don't remember this because it's way before our time, but I'm a historian. What they used to do is at the end of the football season, they would put together a college all-star game to play against the NFL team that had the worst record. So it would have been a college all-star team against the Jaguars this year. And it's kind of just like let's see if you can really play against NFL competition without throwing you to the wolves and getting somebody hurt. I mean, they're not going to play the Rams. They play the worst team. And one year, I think it was like in the 40s, that all-star team beat the NFL team. So why not do that?
Right.
Why not do that? But it goes back to what you said about NFL players not wanting to risk, because you got to think about it.
Risk that money.
It's a brand. Like back when we were coming up, we were 70s babies, so we grew up watching 80s and 90s football. Guys didn't have brands. The first brand of football player was probably Deion Sanders. And then Bo Jackson.
Right.
Those were the first brands.
Right. You saw them outside of pads. You saw their face, because every time you saw these guys, they had their helmet on. You didn't know who the hell they were. You see them in public most of the time. So they were the guys that they had their face out there.
And there's somebody in the room from Atlanta that's nodding. Like Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders was Atlanta. Prime time. Deion was Atlanta in football and baseball. So, but now everybody has a brand with social media, with the money that they make. Everybody has a brand, and if you get injured and can't play anymore,
the money pipeline shuts down.
It's done. So, I agree with you 100%. I get it. I get these guys saying, "Hey, I'm not about to go out here and risk it all for a meaningless game." For I think the winner gets like 20,000 or something like that. That's peanuts for these guys nowadays. I mean, the rookie minimum is like 300 something.
350, I think.
Vet minimum is like 400. So the worst you're going to do is make $400,000 a year.
That's a guy on the practice squad.
That's a guy on the practice squad. Yeah, was it 2-3 years ago? Practice squad guys used to make a couple $1,000s a week. Now the practice squad guys are on a rookie minimum salary.
Right.
So like when we played minor league ball, we would have guys that came down from practice squads and played with us. because they just want to get on the field and get some work and get some film. Nowadays, they like, nah, I'm gonna go to practice and dress for these home games and go home to my $1 million home. And I don't blame them. But like you said, it's weak. And if you know anything about football, you'll know that a lot of times you will get injured going half tail. You know, so can I say half ass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see the name?
But we're on a new platform.
Hey,
we're on a new platform, so I just want to make sure.
Matter of fact, I'll give you an example because shout out to the Believe Podcast Network. We're so excited to be working with you guys. Of course, those of you who follow us, KCAA is and always will be home. So you know we love you guys. We're always gonna be a part of KCAA. But one of the reasons why we connected with Believe is because they are a no bullshit organization also.
They believed in us.
They have a podcast called the Slap Dick Podcast, man.
Literally.
So the gloves are off, just so you know. You know, yeah.
Okay, good.
So just so y'all know.
Good. Yeah. So if you go out in a football game and half ass, you will get you will get hurt. But no, yeah, 100% shout out to Believe. That's BLEAV.com. No matter where you watch your podcast, Spotify, iTunes, iRadio, wherever, go to Believe. So Tuesday, March 1st is the first return episode, which is the one that you're hearing right now of BTP Sports. And every Tuesday from there on out, you will hear us on Believe.com. Shout out to Believe for believing in us, real talk, and reaching out to us and wanting our content. So, but yeah, man, the Pro Bowl is trash. Let's just call it what it is. It's just stop. It's a money grab at this point. It's a money grab at this point. But yeah, I understand these guys not want to go out and hurting themselves, man. So just like you said, do away with it. Free agent game, or just have your all pro team. Right. You know how they do NFL honors. Right. You know, do something where you have your NFL honors guys come out, you know, give them some kind of incentive.
Yeah, that would be a great week to shift NFL honors because I don't think that gets the attention that it deserves.
Doesn't.
You can have that during that week, Pro Bowl week. Announce all the Pro Bowl guys, announce all the NFL honors guys, and announce the Hall of Fame class.
Yeah. Maybe every 2 years, Goodell needs to threaten to cancel it because if y'all remember, was it 2-3 years ago? Goodell was like, all right, look, I'm getting too much blowback. So if y'all don't start playing, I'm going to go and scrap it. And the next two Pro Bowls after that were pretty good. It better, put it that way. Yeah, it was better. It was at least competitive. Right. But now they're back to nope, we ain't doing it.
Block.
Yeah. It was just sad, man.
Here's a tackle.
Yeah, it is sad, man.
Pathetic.
Yeah. So let's transition and talk about a little basketball. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's talk about something you got going on with the NFL.
Yes.
Let's talk about this, man.
How can we forget? So I have been blessed and bestowed with the opportunity. Speaking of making connections down at the Radio Road to Super Bowl, I am actually going to be the spokesperson from the media for the NFL Alumni Association Wellness Challenge. So we have an epidemic in this country, and I'm a card-carrying member of the obesity club, right? So 40% of America is obese, y'all. 40. 10 people in the room, 4 or more weight.
By definition.
So the NFL Alumni Association, they're making a targeted effort to try to get people to focus on obesity because obesity is the driver for a lot of these other illnesses that we have, diabetes, heart problems, cancer, you name it. A lot of it ties back to obesity is because of the type of foods that we eat and the level of activity that we don't engage in. And we know as former players, man, it's hard when you're like a machine, like you ever had a car that you parked for a long time, you try to crank it back up, it don't crank up. Right. Well, our bodies are the same way. So we're used to training and working out and practicing every day, and we eat and we fuel our bodies to handle that workload. So we stop all of a sudden, we retire. Your body is still going to command that same level of calories to make it function. So what happens is your metabolism slows down, you gain weight, you're not as active anymore. So, and then all the other health challenges comes with that. So I was able to connect with the chairman for the wellness program for the NFL Alumni Association. He said, hey, you know what? We don't have anyone in the media that's part of this challenge. So this is a challenge that was, founded and started. Dr. Oz is involved with this as well. So over the course of the next year, you're going to see me transition. And my goal is to lose 70 pounds by kickoff of Super Bowl 57.
Light work.
So I'll be, exactly, light work. So I'll be out there next year in Phoenix representing the NFL Alumni Association, talking to everyone about the wellness program. And you guys are going to check in every week and check my progress. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a weigh-in today. So we're going to check in next week and see, how much weight I've lost, as of next week. So I'm really proud. I'm really thankful and grateful for the opportunity and excited about the opportunity. But now the shift is, in success, I always think of it as two ways. The first thing is the motivation. You get excited, you get the opportunity, you get the news. But where a lot of people fall off is the discipline. Discipline has to replace motivation in order for you to succeed.
Yep.
So now it's time to buckle down and get it done.
Yep.
Because where a lot of people fall off is they get excited about things, but they don't execute. They don't follow through. They don't have the discipline and the focus to get it done. So you will see that here.
Absolutely, and we'll be documenting it. We'll be documented. You'll see clips. You'll see video. You'll see posts, and a lot of people who know me know, and that I myself have lost over 100 pounds over the past few years. So I am definitely vested in this. And the thing about that is, in doing my own research for my own journey, it sparked an interest in nutrition for me. And he knows that I am now in school studying to be a certified nutritionist. And I've got about a couple of months to go. So I'm definitely, and I'm going to walk through it with him. I'm going to do what he does, and we're going to help each other out, and we're going for it. And again, like you said, he's actually going to be on the panel that talks to NFL alumni and try to get those guys, excuse me, to get their wellness. And if you look at him, you might not believe this dude used to be slim, like slim. Like, I mean, you can't tell sitting down. He's what, 6'6"? He used to be a slim dude. So his natural body set point is slim. So he should be able to knock it off. But like you say, it's the discipline.
Right.
Starting is the hard part, people say, but that's not true. Right.
And this program is not gender or age prohibitive.
No.
Anybody can participate. You don't have to be a member of the NFL alumni to participate. If you want to, get engaged as well and, ask questions on our social media pages. The NFL alumni is following us as well. So go there. You want to ask questions. It's interactive. We're doing this as a team effort for everyone to be successful. One of the people that was successful on the program was Dick Butkus.
Yeah.
The legendary.
This man was on the phone with Dick Butkus, bro.
Dick Butkus, and he lost an amazing amount of weight, and he looked great. Mike Golick is another one.
We didn't even recognize him on radio, bro. We were like, yo, is that Golick?
Right.
He didn't look sick. He just looked healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, we have a lot of, people in the program. So, we'll continue to share more information as it comes, but continue to follow us and follow the journey. Yeah.
It's going to be dope, man. And where can you see that progress at?
You can go to NFLalumni.org. NFLalumni.org. All the information for the challenges on there. And, of course, you can follow us on our social media at BTP Sports on Twitter, at BTP_sports on Instagram. Yeah, somebody stole our name. It's all good. We got the underscore in the middle of it.
Right.
And then you can also follow me on my Instagram. It's at The Great Morpheus with DA. Great Morpheus, at The Great Morpheus with DA in the front.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. This is going to be some dope. And again, shout out to the NFL alumni, not only for approaching him about this program, but about showing us so much love while we were out in LA. We got hooked up with the NFL alumni, personal invite to their Super Bowl party, so we got to hang out with those guys. They fed us. So here's the thing: they approached this man about a wellness challenge. We get to the Super Bowl party, they got pizza, wings, cake. Them cookies was off the chain. Ho. Remember them cookies?
They were.
Woo.
Yeah.
But you're done now, bro.
Yeah, we're done now.
You're done.
Yeah, we locked in now.
Said the man who ate probably a whole school of fried catfish last night. Yours truly. But no, I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm really looking forward to doing this. But you have anything else about that before we shift gears?
Just like I said,
we talk football all day.
We can talk football all day, but it's a great program. It's a great initiative. And it shows that more so the thing is that the NFL Alumni Association cares. So they're reaching back out to these players to, get them back on track.
And there was a lot of blowback with the NFL with the way they quote unquote don't take care of their alumni guys, with the insurance, and you got all these guys with, brain injury problems, and they don't have insurance, and this and that and the other. So shout out to the NFL and the program is free.
Right.
It's not costing anybody a dime.
Right.
So shout out to the NFL, man, for actually saying we care about these guys and their health, and not just fitness, because health is all encompassing. Health is mental
health,
physical, spiritual, emotional. So they're not just saying, well, we want you to be fit.
Right.
We want you to be healthy.
Right.
And shout out to the NFL for that, man.
And as a matter of fact, not to steal thunder from the NFL also, but we had an opportunity to talk to Lee Steinberg. And for those of you who don't know, if you don't know who Lee Steinberg is, I can't help you. But there's some guy named, what's his name? Jeffrey Jordan or something like that.
Miguel Jordan or something
We
like
wore
that.
number 23 for the Bulls. I don't know, 6-time NBA champion, 6 finals MVPs,
Mitchell Jackson. I think that's his name.
Something like that. Yeah, him. There's this guy, what's his name?
Lion Forest.
Oh, man.
Tiger Forest.
Yeah,
Tiger Woods, something like that.
The golf guy.
Yeah. The brother that played golf.
Woody Tiger, was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, Woody Tiger. I think that's his name.
Yeah. This guy represents these caliber of players. He is without question.
What was that tennis player he represented? Serena Wilson or
something like that.
Dark skinned chick, kind of. Serena Wilson, something like that. He was their agent. Yeah.
This guy is the greatest sports agent in history
ever.
He is he's the story behind Jerry Maguire. They made Jerry Maguire based on
Lee
him.
Steinberg.
Right. So if anybody has an incentive not to really care about the player's health, because he makes money when they produce.
Correct.
Right. So he has every incentive to be a reason for them to stay on the field and perform when they shouldn't, and try to get extra years out of them. Right. This man sat with us, and every word that came out of his mouth was about the long-term health and wellness of his athletes. And he had a symposium. We had the honor going to his party as well, the Lee Steinberg party. And he had a symposium about traumatic brain injuries. So we're not going to give you too much because you got to go to our page to watch it. The full interview is going to be there. But shout out to Lee Steinberg and his entire organization for everything that they're doing to promote wellness and health, amongst athletes.
So the best part, and you left out, my favorite part of that story, and you probably left it for me. So I told you how Radio Row, why is that a tongue twister? Radio Row works. We just happened to be sitting at our table and didn't have a guest, and we see this little blonde-headed white chick walking over to us, and she goes, "Excuse me, guys, do you have a minute to talk to Lee Steinberg?" Let's see if we can fit the greatest sports agent ever into our schedule. I think we got him in.
That. Yeah.
I think we can fit him in.
Yeah,
I think we can fit him in. I'm like, do we wait? What? So Lee came over to our table, and let me tell you something about Lee Steinberg. This man is, when I tell you this man is loaded, I mean, he might even be a billionaire if I'm not mistaken. But this guy has, again, the greatest sports agent ever, tons of money, cachet,
connections, you name it.
Anybody. But he is the most humble gentleman you'll ever meet. His voice never goes over a whisper.
Never.
And it's not because he's elderly. Right. He's just a cool, laid-back dude. Remember, Darren said Darren was in line to get credentials. This guy is in line to get his own credentials. He didn't send his publicist.
Right.
And he said that Darren, one of our guys, stepped in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry about that." And Lee said, "Hey, no problem." He's just that humble of a gentleman. And he personally invited us to his Super Bowl party. He walked around. He was amongst the people. And he walked around Radio Row all day. Just like,
and he just very casually, just very casually.
It's like he don't know who
Sony
he is.
Studios. Just, you know what? Here, just put this on my debit card. Let's lease out Sony Studios today for my party.
This man,
They shut production down for this man to have his Super Bowl party.
the entire studio, not a
Section of it.
yeah,
The
not
entire
no,
studio.
not a set. This man literally rented out Sony Pictures Studios, the entire studio, and we had free range of the entire studio. And we just like, and again, just the most humble gentleman that you'll ever meet. So shout out to Lee Steinberg, man. And his party is it's networking. We made some connections there. We met some people, and it was just a dope time, man. So shout out to Lee. So we also got didn't talk about our boy ED, man.
Oh man,
That's Eric Dickerson, by the way. I know ED means something else in 2022.
great Eric Dickerson.
Yeah.
Still the greatest Ram of all time, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can go with that. So ED came and sat down with us, and most of these guys with their publicists are normally non-athletes. I'm just gonna call it what it is. They're non-athletes. They don't really get the vibe. So they're like, okay, you got 8 minutes with them. We like, okay, and we always tried to respect it. You got 8 minutes with them. All right, cool. This woman almost had to literally grab Eric Dickerson by the arm and say, come on, let's go, because he was so entrenched in talking to us, man. Like you say, real recognize real. And the same thing with Joe Theismann.
Right.
Go to our YouTube and check out our Joe Theismann interview.
Those interviews weren't scheduled. That was just, we ran into them and they came to us.
Here's what's funny. The one interview that we actually had scheduled didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call him out and we're going to tweet you this. Brandon Marshall.
Yep.
I'm going to call you out, brother. Because we had you scheduled and you ain't show up, man. So you owe us one.
You owe us one, man.
And yes, you're going to get a copy of this in your Twitter and Instagram, sir. But no, shout out to the I Am Athlete podcast.
Yeah,
They're kind of
great podcast.
Excellent. And what I love about their podcast is their transparency. They are big, and these are big athletes, not necessarily, physically big and big names. I mean,
right.
Chad Ocho and Brandon Marshall and Channing and Fred are gone. But, and they talk very candidly about their lives and experiences and their mental health. Brandon Marshall's a big mental health advocate. And to piggyback again on what Rich was saying about the initiative with the NFL, and I touched on this a little bit. I myself have very, very vested interest in that because on my last physical last year, they discovered that I have some brain damage from my years of playing football. I did the full physical, and this was not my normal doctor. It was a doctor at a specific clinic that does the wellness check. And she said she doesn't know me like my doctor. My doctor knows my history and knows me. And she said, "Have you had a traumatic brain injury?" I said, "No." She said, "Car accident, anything like that?" I said, "No, ma'am." I said, "Well, I did play minor league professional football for 16 years. She said, "Oh, we can tell." And she said, "Yeah, there is some scarring, there is some damage to your brain." So when Lee Steinberg and I, like I said, I just went public with this at the Super Bowl. I never put my health and my business out in the streets like that, but this is different,
right?
Because there's so many other guys like me,
right,
who are dealing with it. Dexter Wynn, who former Houston Texan, former Detroit Lion, played for a couple of the NFL teams. He did the same thing. Quincy Carter, who's a friend of the show. Quincy just recently, he posted his actual scan and said, "Hey, look, I got brain damage." So I say, well, if these guys can put it out there, who am I?
Right.
Who am I to not say, listen, let me use what's going on with me to help somebody else? Because everybody talks about the NFL, everybody talks about college players, everybody talks about high school players. What about our level?
Right.
What about minor league?
Right.
What about arena ball? We do the same thing.
Right. Except
Get
we
the
take the
millions of
pads
dollars
off, take a shower, and go to work.
and go to work. Yeah, so nobody talks about the health of minor league players and say, you know what? These guys did the same thing.
Right.
These guys are just as big, just as strong, I don't care what you say. I've been up close to NFL players. They're a different level, but we ain't far under. Like I said, we played with and against guys who played in the league, guys that you've heard of. So they did the same thing. They beat and I was a center. And we all know from the movie Concussion, the poster child for CTE was Mike Webster, Pittsburgh Steelers center. I was a center. And if you played offensive line, you may not have been diagnosed with it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's inevitable.
Right.
They did tests on 100 deceased football players from high school all the way through professional. 99 of them had CTE.
Some type of TBI.
99%. 99% of them had some sort of CTE.
Right.
So if you played football at a high level for more than 4 or 5 years, you got brain damage. Period. It's no way around it. Your brain was not designed.
It's like a car collision on every snap.
Especially with us.
Right.
We're linemen. Like running backs, receivers, those guys. Majority of the people who have it are skill position players and linemen. Because with us, I don't care. I was a center. No matter what the play is, I got to hit somebody. Run, pass, whatever. I got to hit somebody. So when Lee Steinberg was talking about that, I said, and that was the first time I actually went public with it, was when he started talking about it. I'm like, I got to tell it. So if my experience can help, and my target audience for me coming out with it is the minor league level, because I'm not a brag, but I'm in the minor league football Hall of Fame. So a lot of these guys know me. They know who I am. They know my name. So if I say this, they'll say, dang, Brock, that's my guy. Let me go get checked out. And that's all I want.
Right.
All I want is for guys to say, if my guy that I played with or played against has this issue, let me go get myself checked out.
Right.
And we'll probably do a show. We done it before. When we had the television show, we did a show about CTE. So it's real. It's real. Yeah. So, and I've had experiences, and I told my wife about it after the fact. We were getting ready to go out of town, and we were driving to Louisiana. We stopped to get gas. And you know how you put your credit card in, you have to put your zip code in. I literally could not remember my zip code. I was standing at the pump like this. Where do I live? And I stood there for about 30, 40 seconds, and then it finally popped to me. Okay, cool. I can look at somebody. This is my dude. I've been knowing him for 8 years. Sometimes I'll look at somebody that I'm very familiar with, and I literally cannot think of their name. Like, so I get it. I get it. And that's how it starts. So that we're definitely looking forward to that initiative, man. So, so you had something?
Just like I said, the early detection is the critical thing. So definitely we encourage everyone, go out there and get checked. Yeah.
Minor league fellas, go get yourself looked at, man. Get your brain scanned and get yourself looked at. Real talk. How much time we got, guys? Oh, we still got some time. Good. Okay. So let's talk about the NBA, man. Of course, last weekend we had the NBA All-Star game. And it's not quite Pro Bowl level bad.
But it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. I think Steph saved it.
Yeah.
With the performance.
With his shooting was incredible.
Yeah. He did it.
Yeah,
so
even undefended. I mean, the shots that he was taking was just like, this guy is like he's on a playground or something. Like he's playing horse with grown NBA All-Star players.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Who shoots the ball from the logo and turns around and runs back down?
Because he know he hit. He knew as soon as he left his hand, he knew he was in.
The ball wasn't even halfway to the goal, and he just turned around and hit all draws. Who does that? He shot that one from the corner and turned to the fan and was like, did it go in? Heard the swish and ran down court. I'm like, man, get this dude off my TV, man. Get this dude off my TV.
That's the kind of dude that you play at 21, you just hack the hell out of him.
Yeah. And he's another one that if you ever seen him in person, you'd be impressed with him because he is a very small guy. He's 6'2", 6'3", but he this
small,
big.
Very small.
He this big.
Not very girthy at all.
No, not. You couldn't find a better word than that. It's bring the pain, baby. It's bring the pain. No, but so talk to me about your feelings about the All-Star game, NBA All-Star game in general.
Well, the good thing is it's safe. It's not like the NFL Pro Bowl where guys are getting injured. Thank God for that. But it's just the overall pace of the game. And again, they have the same issue as the NFL players. They have a vested interest in not going 100 miles an hour because they're worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
The skills competition is getting worse and worse by the year. It's almost like the no skills competition. And you know, even the oh my God, the dunk contest.
That's probably the worst one I've seen.
Yeah. I think we're very close to the end. We're very close to, you know, it's time to hang it up. It was really exciting a few years ago when you had Aaron Gordon in there.
And Levine. And that was the last good one.
That was the last good one.
Yeah.
And since then, it's plummeted, and it's horrible now. It's time to, you know, maybe consider moving on from the dunk contest. 3-point shootout, you had a big man win a 3-point shootout. But is it actually a 3-point shootout without Steph Curry?
No.
I mean,
but at the same time, would it be fair?
His brother Seth is also
why you bullshitting?
A sniper, yeah. You know
that whole family can shoot. Their daddy can shoot.
Right. I mean, Dale was a killer.
The mama could probably shoot if she put it out there. Everybody did. If your last name is Curry, you can shoot.
She did shoot. She shot her shot at the tight end that she left her old man for.
Shout out to him. No, but yeah, I agree with that 100%, man. The skills the rookie game was pretty good.
Yeah.
The celebrity game was actually all right. The skills competition I enjoyed. You might not look at me and think that, but when I played basketball, I was a shooter. Hey, you get me open on the screen, I'll shoot the lights out.
Get me on the court, send them trouble.
Man, I still can shoot the rock. I officiate, so sometimes on timeouts, half out, we'll shoot. I can still fill it up. So that's why I enjoy watching the 3-point shootout. But that dunk that used to be the highlight. Right. We should look more forward to that than the game. And
like fried chicken and stuff like to get ready for the dunk contest. That was like a whole event on its own. But now it's like it's very whack.
Yeah,
NBA, y'all got to stop trying to rewrite history. Y'all have to be more realistic about where you rank players. Personally, I wish I could drag the whole LeBron versus Jordan debate out to a field and just shoot it because I'm sick of hearing about it. It's different eras. Mm-hmm. Different guys, different eras, different rules, different players.
Different equipment, different nutrition.
You name it. The 3-point line moved. Everything else is different.
Hell, they didn't have a 3-point line until the 80s.
Right. So just appreciate what you have while you're seeing it, for one. And then they're trying to come up with these ranking systems like for the 75 greatest players of all time. How in the blue hell is Damian Lillard a top 75 player of all time?
But Joe Dumars ain't.
But hello.
What?
Did we forget?
How is Dwight Howard not on the 75 greatest?
He's like
Dwight Howard dominated the league for the better part of a decade.
Right. He was like, I think, an 8-time All-NBA. I know he won at least 3 Defensive Player of the Years, if not more. He's won rebounding titles. He took the Magic to the finals. How is that? How are you not a part of the top 75 players?
But the Joker, who got 2-3 years in the league, is top 75. Right. Man, if you don't
stop letting the interns make decisions about where people rank in history. Well, if they want to make an effective list, ask the players.
There you go.
Ask the players.
There you go. I mean, to shift gears for just a second, to go back to the NFL Hall of Fame. As a Cowboys fan, listen, everybody knows me. I am a card-carrying Dallas Cowboys fan, a hater. Mm-hmm. Always, I was a Cowboys hater before I even moved to Texas. Mm-hmm. But how in the blue hell, as you say, is Demarcus Ware not a first ballot Hall of Famer? How
crazy?
What?
135 sacks, I believe. He was, I want to say 7 or 8-time All-Pro.
All-Pro, not Pro Bowl. All-Pro.
All-Pro. That means you're either number 1 or number 2 at your position for 8 out of 10 years. I think he's got like 11 Pro Bowls, and he's all-decade. So you were named as one of the top players at your position for 10 years. How in the hell are you not a first ballot Hall of Famer? It's time to make some changes. I'm a voter as well with the Football Writers Association. We cover college sports, and I think the way that we do things is more effective. And maybe they should consider applying that to the NFL. First of all, you don't have the same guys on the panel every year.
No,
I voted for the Hall of Fame once, and I would be eligible again next year. So you go vote once, you're off for 5 years. So first of all, it gets fresh minds, fresh perspective. You don't have the same stale, old, boring ass, out of shape dudes sitting in the room talking their stupidness to each other, asking questions of each other who you voting for, so you're influencing their own vote. And then you don't have all these same agendas because you're mad because Terrell Owens didn't give your ass an interview back in 2003. So you're going to make him wait to go into the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame is about what you do on the field.
Period.
It didn't have a damn thing to do about personality, egos, attitudes. Same thing is true in Major League Baseball where they kept Barry Bonds out. Hall of Fame should be specifically to what you do on the field. And, having fresh mindset, fresh perspective, guys who's, seen other players perform, you're able to be more objective.
Yep.
And I think the problem is, some of the guys who are on that voting panel and have been on that voting panel forever, they're part of these tier 1 media programs. And if you don't kiss up to them, or you don't, do what it takes to become a part of their in crowd, then you're not getting in.
Then you're right. Period.
So I'm still scratching my head because Demarcus Ware was not a quote unquote problem child. He was very well received by the media. He was very well received by the fans and by his teammates. So there was never any off the field.
Never heard a bad word about him.
Never heard a bad word about him.
And you follow the Cowboys deep, and you never heard a bad word about him, even in Denver.
Right, and also in Denver, the Broncos country, they love him. He went out there and won a Super Bowl with them. So I don't understand how do you look at this man's stats and his performance and not vote yes for him for the Hall of Fame? I don't get it. And
here's the most face-slapping part about that. They let another player who plays the same position in, Richard Seymour. And no shade to Richard Seymour.
He deserves to be in.
Right. Now let's go over it. Richard Seymour played from 2001 to 2012. So that's 13 seasons. He got 3 chips. Okay, fair enough.
He played with the GOAT though.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right.
5 times All-Pro, 3 times first team, 2 times second team, 7 Pro Bowls, 2000s All-Decade team. Very respectable resume. Absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's go with Demarcus Ware.
Here we go.
He played 2005 through 2016, so he played 1 more season. So he played 14 seasons. 7 times All-Pro, 4 times first team, 3 times second team, 9 Pro Bowls, 2 times sack leader, 2000s All-Decade team. They made the same All-Decade team.
Right.
This is the part. Richard Seymour had 57.5 sacks from the defensive end position. Demarcus Ware had 138.5.
Drop the mic on that. You just dropped the mic on that.
Come on, man. So you telling me how? Just I need context. How?
Right.
How does that happen?
And if you actually watch the film, Demarcus Ware was a more versatile player because not only could you use him as a pass rusher, they even shifted him to an outside linebacker in a 3-4.
Right.
You can't do that with Richard Seymour.
No.
So
hand in the dirt.
Hand on the dirt. So I don't understand. If you're gonna, I'm not a fan of comparing players, but if you're gonna make a decision on one in and one out, Ware goes in first.
Yeah.
Ware should have the first class ticket, and Rich Seymour should be flying coach. Sorry, bro.
They both should be on the plane,
Right.
but it's levels of the plane.
Right.
So I just don't get it. How we looking on time, gents? 58. Okay. Well, we almost out of time, but I tell you what, man, when we get to talking sports, especially football, time flies, man. So, but we back. So once again, you can catch us every Tuesday starting March the 1st on Believe. That's BLEAV.com. Shout out. Go ahead and follow Believe on Believe Podcast, I think it is, on Instagram. And of course, if you're not following us on social media, you tripping. As Ply say, you tripping. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. We're Bring the Pain Sports. We're on Facebook at BTP Sports Talk. We're on the Instagram at BTP_sports. We're on Twitter at BTP Sports. Follow his Twitter at DA Great Sports Morpheus. Follow me on Twitter at Big M Brock 67. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. And as we say to close out every show, there is no us without you. So thank you for tuning in to Bring the Pain Sports Talk. After further review, we love y'all, and we'll see you next time.